Hello everyone and welcome to Critical Builds. So today we're going to be doing a character build on the Divine Soul Sorcerer. Um, the base sorcerer got a lot of buffs, so that's the reason why we're doing Divine Soul. I know there's 4 new subclasses, but to me personally, all of them are whatever. I don't see anything that I would really want to take. I mean, Dragon's cool. Um, the Aberrant Mind has some cool stuff. And I'm not remembering the other 2 subclasses. I know each one's got 4 subclasses that got buffed. But yeah, I don't know. Nothing really stood out, but we'll get into why the Divine Soul Sorcerer is good and why it stood out to me, as even though it's an old subclass. So we're going to be going Elf because we want Elven Accuracy because of the new Sorcerer Incarnate feature, which grants you advantage on all spell attack rolls. Oh, yeah, spell attack rolls, specifically our sorcerer spells, so that's why we're going to be going mainly sorcerer. So I think Shadar-kai is the best elf. You get necrotic resistance, Blessing the Raven Queen, which gives you a bonus action teleport, which gives you resistance to everything at level 3, Fey Ancestry, and Trance. Ability scores, there's going to be 8 strength, 14 dex, 14 con, 9 int, 13 wisdom, so we can multi-class, and 17 charisma. It's going to be a 1-level multi-class just for armor proficiencies. You don't have to do this. You could just skip that multi-class altogether, but I feel like the AC bump is very important. A background feat, I'm going to recommend Alert again, just because we have a decent dex score, so getting alert is going to be good. You can swap initiative with people, and going first is always best if you can. I kind of skip background, just going to be custom background like always, and pick whatever skills you want. Usually I just go all the charisma base. We are charisma caster. Alternatives would be tough and musician. Those are some good other background feats if you want, but I recommend Alert. Sorcerer level 1, the thing we're building around is Innate Sorcery. So it's a very new feature that was introduced. So we activate it as a bonus action, and we get twice per long rest. And once we hit level 7 of Sorcerer, we can then use sorcery points to get more of this per long rest. It's going to be the way how we can do all of our damage. What's great is it gives you advantage on attack rolls, and it'll increase your spell save DC. So it basically just boosts all of our spell casting, which is amazing. So we'll be able to do great single target and great AoE with this build. I love this build, and I can't wait to play this build in a campaign, personally. And for level 1 spells and cantrips, Sorcerer's Burst is going to be our new attack cantrip. It's actually not that bad. Of course, Eldritch Blast would be better, but I feel like it's a waste going into Warlock just to hit 2 levels of Warlock and get Agonizing Blast with Eldritch Blast. It's just too much waste of time, in my opinion. Just so you can do Eldritch Blast consistently, and you won't get the advantage, the free advantage from Innate Sorcery with Eldritch Blast, because Innate Sorcery only gives you advantage on Sorcerer abilities, so not worth it in my opinion. Blade Ward got a buff. What's great now is it's just a concentration spell that lets you reduce incoming melee and range attacks by subtracting a d4. This is great because you could just spam it whenever you know combat is near, and it can help you bump your AC a little bit. Mage Hand, just get any utility cantrip you want here, and then I'd recommend getting True Strike, because you never know when an enemy's going to be up and personal, and at least you can use your charisma to hit with True Strike, so not bad. Level 1 spells. So at first, if you're playing this the first level, I would highly recommend getting 1 attack spell like Ice Knife, Sleep, Magic Missiles, Chaos Bolts, or something, a Wish Bolt, something like that. But just level 1 spells you're going to want on this build, which is going to be part of our defensive chassis, is going to be Silvery Barb, Shield, and Absorb Elements. Get those when you can. And something to consider too would be Mage Armor. If you want, you could just wear studded leather or some leather and you'll be okay. But Mage Armor will give you a little bit more of a bump. You'll have at least a 15 armor class of Mage Armor. You only have a +2 dex, 13 plus your dex mod. And again, these early levels, until you go into Cleric or Druid, your choice, for that medium armor proficiency, our AC is going to be bad. So level 2, I would just recommend going straight Sorcerer to level 5, because you really want to get all these features initially. You could take your 1 level dip into Cleric or Druid whenever you want. Keep that in mind. I'm just gonna say go straight to 5th, and maybe you can hide in the back, because we won't be up and close and personal until level 5. So that's my thing. We'll just sit in the back for the time being. So that's going to be my recommendation. Level 2 Sorcerer. We're going to get Metamagic. Amazing. We can use Metamagic to gain 2 Metamagic options. I'm going to recommend Quicken and Subtle at this level, but eventually I would get rid of Subtle or Quicken for Transmuted Spell, because our main attack spell is going to be Scorching Ray, which is fire damage. A lot of enemies have fire resistance, so you're going to want to get rid of that fire resistance by converting it to cold or thunder. Thunder is going to be your safest bet for the most part. And then we have Metamagic, which they gain 2 sorcery points at this level, and then as we increase levels, we get 1 sorcery point per sorcerer level. And what's cool is you can go back and forth with this. You can convert sorcery points into spell slots and vice versa. It's always a great way to maintain both. And yep, I would get transmuted when you get to higher levels. At level 2, nothing's. I mean, you don't even have Scorching Ray yet, but at level 3, when we get Scorching Ray, not a lot of enemies are going to have fire resistance at that point. And we talked about the first level spells. I thought you just get more first level spells. Level 3, big level here. We get our subclass. So one of the subclass features we get is they ask us our affinity, and based on your affinity, you get these spells. I would recommend either evil or law. It's going to be hard to do evil. I don't know why they put evil here, because most of the time you're a good person, party, whatever. So I guess go law, and don't worry, later on we'll get inflict wounds. What I like about inflict wounds is right now you don't need it because we're not going to be up close and personal, but starting from level 5 and on, when we're up close and personal, you can always quicken and inflict wounds, and that's going to be a lot of damage up front. And with our sorcerer incarnate running, that's innate sorcery, we're going to have triple advantage to hit with this attack. And the reason why is this attack, what sucks is you burn a spell no matter what, so you will want to have the highest chance possible to hit. And hey, if you crit on that, that's going to be 60-10 with a first level spell slot. It's pretty good. But just know that if you quicken this, for example, then you can't do anything else. So your attack is just going to be like a cantrip. So yeah, this quicken inflict wound is usually really good on someone like the paladin sorcerer build that I did before. And I did not mention that, but that's something I should have mentioned in the paladin sorcerer multi-class build that I did a while back. Then we get favored by the gods, a great feature. This will allow us to gain a once per day 2d4 to any roll, pretty much. I would save this for saving throws. Saving throws are what's going to be most important. Second level spells, of course, like I kept mentioning, Scorching Ray is going to be our primary attack spell. This spell is amazing because for every level you upcast, you get an additional ray, and every ray means a chance to crit. And with triple advantage, you should hit every ray, and 2d6 on every single ray is pretty good. I think it's gonna be our best single target DPS, especially if every single roll will hit, and it should once we get Elven Accuracy up and rolling. Some other great second level spells that I would get between level 3 and 4 are going to be Suggestion, Aid, and Silence. There's so many other spells you can get. Bless we'll get. I think we should save Bless and or Inflict Wounds, depending on what you chose to get later on. When we take our Cleric dip, but if you end up wanting to go Druid instead, because you want like Goodberry and some other first level spells that are native to Druid, I don't know, then get Bless to since you have access to the whole Cleric spell list now while you're leveling up and whatnot. If you don't know how it works, every single time you level up, you get to choose one new spell, and then you can also get rid of new spells, get rid of old spells, and then as you get more charisma, you'll also be able to learn more spells. So just D&D Beyond's good about that, which I like. Okay, level 4 Sorcerer. We gain our first feat, and I'm going to recommend Warcaster here. I know I kept talking about Elven Accuracy. I mean, I have it here as you can choose either Elven or Warcaster, but the primary build during the reason we went Divine Soul Sorcerer, you get, of course, Scorching Ray is the base sorcerer class. You can do that with any single subclass. But the reason I went with Divine Soul Sorcerer so we can get Spirit Guardians. In 2024, Spirit Guardians got massively buffed to where you can take the damage on once per turn. This is what I talked about in my Paladin video. So, well, the Paladin Divine Soul Sorcerer video. So what's great about this is you can cast Spirit Guardians on yourself, then you run around, hit everybody, and then on your next turn, do it again, and then you can. And if you really want to do more AOE damage, you hold your action, use your movement, and then do it again. So it's going to be the best AOE spell you can do, and the reason why we took the subclass to begin with. That's it. That's the only reason I took the subclass, just for the Spirit Guardians, and you get access to the whole Cleric spell list. So you're kind of half a Cleric. I would maybe like. I'll say 25% of Cleric, only because our spell options are so little that you would want a Cleric just to have like the big spells that matter, like for having a Cleric in your party. But yeah, it's amazing. So I'm going to recommend Warcaster to help us maintain those concentration checks, because even though we have proficiency in Constitution saving throws, you're going to want that advantage, especially at this level where we don't have a good AC. We'll get a good AC in either next level or the level after, whenever you take that Cleric in. And yeah, it's great. You can also, what I like about it too is, since we're a spellcaster, whenever people leave our range, we can cast a spell as an opportunity attack. So you could do something like a True Strike or Booming Blade, or you'd have to go and learn Booming as a cantrip. I would do that, but the only problem is you would be hitting with our crappy decks, depending on the weapon. But what's cool is you can do like a Scorching Ray potentially when they leave your range, and then they'll be out of 5 feet, and then we'll get Spell Sniper later on. So it's just a cool feature. I think Warcaster is going to be the pick at level 4, and then we get Elven Accuracy at our next feat. Because right now Advantage should be enough to hit, but Triple Advantage we're going to need later on, and this will bump us to 18, so more to hit. Level 5 Sorcerer, the glory level right here. We gain a new feature called Sorcerer Restoration, which lets us restore some sorcery points on a short rest. That's amazing. And then we can always do the converting, so it's always great to get back sorcery points when we can. Then we get the key spell, like Hot Spell, Spirit Guardians. Obviously, we're going to be doing Radiant unless you're fighting angels for some reason. I highly doubt it. And then you just got to position yourself accordingly. It's going to suck at this level because of our horrible AC, so I wouldn't fault you if you hold this off one level and go Cleric and then level 5 Sorcerer, but level 3 spells are just so good. Fireball, Counterspell, there's so many others you can choose from. These are just the ones that I'm recommending at this level. Then, of course, we go and get our medium armor proficiency with Cleric. I'm going to recommend Cleric just because if your DM can't give you any fault, you're literally a Cleric already. So you can say something like, oh, I'm taking one level in Cleric because I'm trying to tap into like my holy roots or something. I don't know. But what I like about going Cleric here is we're going to get a number more of a bunch of cantrips. You just from getting the Cleric subclass, you get medium armor proficiency and shields. And then you get the Divine Order will give you heavy armor efficiency, which we don't need because we cannot wear heavy armor. We have 8 strength or 9 strength or whatever. So what's good is we can get Thaumaturgy, we can get a bunch more cantrips. So, pick and choose whatever you want. I like Thaumaturgy. We could have got that also earlier once we took our Divine Soul subclass. What's great now in 2024, it's just like Baldur's Gate, where it automatically will give you advantage on intimidation checks, which is amazing. Before, it never used to do that. It would just be like implied, or if your DM wants to, but it makes sense that Thaumaturgy do that. And remember, we are a charisma-based character, so if you take proficiency in intimidation and we have a +4, it's going to be an advantage. We need a lot of intimidating. Cleric cantrips, choose, first level spells, bless or inflict wounds, depending what you didn't choose above. Healing Word is going to be a great spell to choose if you need to get a highlight up. It's not going to heal as much as it should, but the whole point of Healing Word is just to get somebody up from death. Shield of Faith could be good, but we're probably not going to use it. And Ceremony is a unique spell. It looked like it got like somewhat buffed, but I don't know. I never used Ceremony before. It looked kind of cool. But now what's great is with medium armor and a breastplate, if you don't want to have disadvantage, and a shield, you're going to have a 19 armor class, and then plus 5, 24. Amazing. And yeah, let's get in. The build is done. Like, it's the earliest I've ever finished a build. That's why I really want to play this build. Level 6 or even level 5, and you have the whole build rolling and done. Like, you can do everything you need to do. You're gonna feel super powerful. I love this build. I think I want to. This is the next build I probably want to play in the campaign. Yeah. So what's our defensive strategies? Dipping into the Cleric, gaining medium armor efficiency, shield. Also, silvery barbs and absorb elements are going to be also going to be defensive options. Favored by the gods going to help us with some saves here and there, and then aid could also help us a lot and our allies. And offense is going to be, as we talked about, for AoE, Spirit Guardians. So we're always going to be casting, whenever we have these big combats, we're always going to be doing bonus action Sorcery Incarnate, and then Spirit Guardians or Sorcery Incarnate and Scorching Ray. For the most part, usually every fight that I do has a big boss and has minions. So if in that regard, you just going to, what's great is, remember, Scorching Ray is not a concentration spell. You could have both spells up. So all you got to do is cast Spirit Guardians and cast Sorcery Incarnate, or run around, hit everybody, and then on the next turn of combat, you could run around, hit everybody, and then you could either do that again if you want to get rid of the adds by just using your action to move on someone else's turn, or you target the boss and shoot him with Scorching Ray. I love this build, and especially once you get Elven Accuracy and Spell Sniper, you're unstoppable. And then for my combat recommendation would be throw up a bless whenever you have a combat that's like, like in the beginning of a dungeon, you're just facing some adds that aren't going to do much damage. Throw a bless up, everyone's going to love it. Help everybody to hit. You're not going to burn Sorcery Incarnate, so that D4 to hit, it will help a lot on you too, and saves and whatnot. I talked about just went over that, and then here's what we just did. Level 1 was Sorcerer, Metamagic, unlocked Spirit Guardians. I got level 5, but Warcaster, 3rd level spells, and okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go briefly with 7 through 20 and tell you what you'll get. It's basically just going to go straight Sorcerer. I don't see a reason to multi-class and get a subclass in Cleric. You could do 17-3 or like 16-4 if you want to get double up on epic boons, but I think you want 9th level spells if you're going to level 20, so at least 17 levels in Sorcerer. And at that point, I don't see the reason, unless you want a subclass feature from Cleric. I can't think of one off the top of my head that would help this build. What any subclass feature? I guess if you want Forge, if you want better AC, I don't know. I really can't think of anything. But you get a cool feature at 18, and 19 would give you the epic boons. So I think we just go straight Sorcerer. So doing that, we get Empowered Healing. I'm never going to use this, but it could become in handy. You get Enhanced Innate Sorcery. This is what I was talking about earlier. So you can now burn, if you're out of Innate Sorcery, you can burn 2 sorcery points and get it back. Amazing, because that's the crux of our build. Again, we get Elven Accuracy. Then in between here, I forgot to say you get 4th level spells. Pick your favorite. After 3rd level spells, 4th level spells, and on tend not to be damage dealing spells. A lot of cool utility stuff. Pick your favorite. You have the whole Cleric list and the whole Sorcerer list. There's so many options you can do. Usually at the 4th level is when I recommend doing summons, but the whole build is gonna be Spirit Guardians for the rest of the build. So yeah. Again, level 10, 11, 5th level spells. People love Hold Monster, Synaptic Static, and Wall of Force. I don't bother with them. People are going to give me a lot of crap for that, but I just think it's a waste of time. Especially, maybe not Wall of Force if you know that the enemies can't teleport, sure, or don't have Disintegrate. But Hold Monster, Synaptic Static, or Saber Sucks. I think it's a waste, because if you're fighting big enemies, they're going to have legendary resistances. So who gives a crap? Like what? I have to burn. As a party, have to burn 3 to 5 or whatever the heck legendary resistance is, just so our spells could potentially work, and then their saves are really good anyways. Just do damage. Like, I never understood that. Level 12, we're gonna get another feat. So we're going to do Spell Sniper, and then we're going to finally cap our Charisma, which is great. So we have Spell Sniper, maxed out our Charisma. We get 6 level spells at this point. I would have Disintegrate that is actually not horrible with this build. So usually, what I hate Disintegrate, because if you miss, then it's just, wow, I wasted a 6 level spell. But we have triple advantage to hit. It's a spell attack roll. So you could just do like Kamehameha, I guess, and do a lot of damage. Like it's a pretty cool option with this build. Again, I love this build, especially for long term. You get all the cool spells, and you're doing a bunch of damage, high AC. Like, oh, I really love this build. I cannot wait to play this build in a campaign one day. Level 13 to 15, more 6 level spells. Mass Suggestion is going to be a good spell. Everyone says it's amazing. This Sunbeam, I mean, it fits the build, but we have Spirit Guardians. It's going to be better. Level 14, we get Spectral Wings. Amazing. We just get a flight speed now, which is cool. I was thinking about putting wings on this guy, but the whole point of this build is 1 through 6. That's the crux of the build, and how many people actually get to level 14. So I wanted to embody what the build actually gets to. Level 15, we'll get 7 level spells. Crown of Stars is not a bad bonus action damage dealer. It lasts I think an hour. I used this spell on my Blade Singer when I got to 7 level spells. I liked it a lot. I thought it was pretty cool because I didn't have a bonus action attack. Remember, I played a Blade Singer 2014 rules, and it was just straight wizard, so I didn't have any bonus action attacks. So I like that as a bonus action attack. This build doesn't have any bonus attacks either, so could be good as a good some 40-12 single target, triple advantage because of Elven Accuracy, and you'll have Sorcerer Incarnate up. Again, love this. I love this new Sorcerer. 8th level spells, I would recommend Mind Blank. Also, I forgot to write it here, Maze. I would also recommend Maze. I'm going to write it here right now, Maze. Maze is actually an 8th level spell that I would use. There's no save. It's an int check. It's an int check, which I like. So it's no save, which means that they can't legendary resistance it. So if you're fighting a dumb enemy, you can just put them in a maze. For one of my first characters, it was just basically it was a fighter, paladin, barbarian, multi-class, and they would maze me, and I would just be screwed because the int check. I had the +5 to saves, but int check negative int. I think it was like I would just leave the table. I would just have to take a break unless I rolled a nat 20. Now as a dungeon master being nice, I wouldn't be back in the combat higher levels. So maze is good. It could be great to use on enemies. Not level 17. So it would be cool if your DM would let you get rid of the Cleric level, since we got to so high of a level, and then your next feat you just take like moderately armored, and then you can get the 20th capstone, since we only took a 1 level dip for armor proficiencies, but probably won't let you. But it's not the level 20 feature is not that good, to be honest. We'll get to it, but if your DM allows you, that'd be cool. Level 18, of course. 17 we get 9th level spells, but 18 for this build. I'm going to do a whole video on shape change when the new monster manual is actually officially out, and we have all the new monster stat blocks that are buffed. But shape change is going to be the best thing you can probably do with 9th level spell. Foresight is usually my go-to with 9th level spells, but the thing is, with Sorcerer Incarnate, we get that advantage that we need in all of our attacks. What only thing that Foresight would give us is disadvantage to hit, advantage on saves. So yeah, shape change is probably going to be it. But yep. We get a cool little feature at the capstone for Divine Soul Sorcerers, which allows us to heal half our HP as a bonus action or below half. That's really cool. Healing is healing. And then now we have level 20, which is going to be the Epic Boon. I would either recommend the Epic Boon of Spell Recall, because saves some spell slots, and then Epic Boon of Recovery if you feel like you're dying too often. And what's cool, so if your DM is nice and allows you to get rid of that sorcerer level, then you get the cool capstone called Arcane Apotheosis. All this says is when the sorcery is active, you can use 1 mana magic point option per turn without spending sorcery points. That's it. That's why I said it's good. It's good, but it's not like game breaking. You'll have 19 sorcery points at this level. You gain them back on a short portion, or all of them on I forget, on a short rest. You can convert them back and forward. It will save you a lot of metamagic points, sorcery points. Don't get me wrong. This arcane apotheosis, but yeah, it's not gonna kill you. All right, final notes of the build. You're gonna be a frontline doing tons of AoE damage. You're gonna have tons of spell options, and you're a full spellcaster. I really love this build. You're gonna feel super powerful. You're gonna be attacking melee like it doesn't, like it's nobody's business. I really want to play this character, as you can tell. And yeah, I really hope you enjoyed the build. Please join the Discord. I post all this. I post a character sheet, and I post this document that we just went through in Discord, all for free. The whole point of Discord is trying to build a really good D&D community. I have a section in there where we can try to have people to look for games. I mean, I might even start using that in a couple months, in a year. I just want to build a really good community where people love building powerful characters, and we can try to build the best characters possible. At least for me, Dungeons and Dragons, I always have fun feeling like building a powerful character, because I don't know, I listen to a lot of podcasts and stuff, and I don't know, it just pisses me off when all these characters are just so unoptimal. It's like, damn, it's just I don't know. I know a lot of I don't know. People get mad about power gamers and whatnot, but it's just like, why have an underpowered character? This character is super strong, just like all my other characters that I'm gonna put on this channel. I'll never put a bad character on this channel. That's just how I am. But yeah, I've said enough. Hope you enjoyed the video. Like, comment, subscribe, join the Discord. Until next time.